A day in the life of a nobody. A day in the life of a nobody.
So a little sort of update on things from me. My mother continues to be a source of stress, both to herself and to us, unfortunately. Took her to the doctors and they're sort of saying they're using the word dementia. I mean, obviously I've thought that for about a year, but they're actually using the word in front of her now. So clearly that's the case. I went to see her beginning of last week, mainly to ensure that she didn't frighten off the buyers of her home, because we're trying to sell her home so that we can move her up to be closer to us. Because last time they went, she swore to them she wasn't selling, they could just get out, please. She probably didn't use the word please either. So, anyway, so I went down, and I thought, actually, why don't I bring her up here, give her a bit of a break, bring her up to Shropshire, give her a few days off. Never do that. Never be fooled into thinking you can have a few days off or give her a rest. It was an absolute nightmare. She was obviously out of her comfort zone, not being in her own home. I mean, she's bad enough there anyway, to be honest, which is why I thought, it might be nice for a change. She might be less stressed. No. So, do I have a bath in the morning or in the evening? Whichever you like. In the morning? Right. So, do I have a bath in the morning or the evening? Within the space of about an hour, we had that question 6 times. I mean, and I thought that was bad. Then that night, that was that evening. The next day, she was following Jem around like a puppy. What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? What do you think I should do? Sell my house? Well, it's already being sold, but yes, maybe. And then that evening, she went into a you're just trying to get rid of me. You're trying to get rid of me. Like, no. Why do I need to move? Why do I need to do this? And I was like, well, because you can't afford to live there anymore because you have no money. You just want my... What? What do you mean I've got no money? And then I explained, this is probably the 40th time I've explained that my father borrowed a lot of money to keep her in the manner to which she was accustomed. Against the houses, basically, that they live in. The 2 houses they have. Lucky for some. So more than... 2/3 of one house is owed and about half of the other. So when we sell both houses, she'll have a little money to support her for about approximately 2 years, we think, in a care home. But she turned that into, you're telling me your father was a rogue? No. I'm saying that his pension wasn't great and that he needed help to support you in the manner to which you were accustomed, to have the sports cars and the new curtains and the new carpets and the lovely holidays. Were you saying... No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that's where the money went. And then, so we had that all evening, and then in the middle of the night, we heard banging on the wall, and help. So I went in, she was on the bed, which is against the wall, banging on the wall. I can't find the door. Like, that's a wall. I'm standing in the doorway. This is the door. You telling me you think your father was a rogue? No. Again, no. Went through that, and I was like, listen, just go to sleep. Go to sleep. It's night time. Go to sleep. I have to work in the morning. Go to sleep. Anyway, the next morning, having had... Martina my mother-in-law was hiding in her flat. Gemma was just crying and hiding in our bedroom. I was like, well, this can't go on. This is not... It's not okay that we're all hiding in our own homes. So I said, okay, we're going to go back to Kent. Whoa! She screamed at me for an hour. And then I introduced the topic of, well, I do think this is dementia because of the short-term memory problem, which is incredibly frustrating, both for you and us. I said, what do you mean? I can remember when the Queen got married. Yes, that's long-term memory. I can remember how to play the piano. I can still read music. Yes. Again, that's long-term memory, physical memory. Test me. So I tested her and she was shit. She was absolutely shit. How many times did I've told you how many times you asked about having a bath last night or the other night. How many times was that? What are you talking about? Anyway, so she was absolutely shit. But she loved being tested even though she was failing. So that actually made the journey more comfortable got her back there, and then I thought we need to go and see a doctor with me present to explain things. We need to get, really on the back of this, get it, get things moving along a bit, because it's untenable as it is. And so I arranged to go and see a doctor with her the next day, and I told her we're going to see a doctor tomorrow. Who are we going to see? A doctor. What for? Well, short-term memory problems. I think we can maybe do something about it if we nip it in the bud, knowing full well. But anyway, then over the next 14 hours she asked me 36 times, and I recorded them just to make sure I wasn't going mad, because in the end you start questioning yourself. Am I just gaslighting her? She thinks she's being gaslit. That's the problem the whole time, because she has no memory, and she lives in this state of absolute anxiety, peak of anxiety. What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? I'm stupid, hitting herself. And you explain it, and this is where kind of logic just leaves the planet. You explain it, and of course she forgets it. So she goes back to the same anxiety, which has been explained to her, but she remembers the anxiety, but not the explanation or the resolution. And so who's coming to see me? We're going to see the doctor. Why? In the end, I said, well, there's the clues in the question. And eventually, after about 10 attempts, I don't know what you mean. Oh, you mean my short-term memory? Yes. So then I did what I thought was quite a good thing. I wrote all of the observations I had about her, and I asked Gemma to do the same and send them to me. So I had about 30 observations of her behaviour, just so that I wouldn't miss anything, because once you go into the doctor's, you might go down some rabbit hole and forget half the things you were going to say. So I handed it to the doctor, who fortunately read it and took note. But it's, as I did write on a piece of paper, the doctor thinks you have, and I think you have dementia, which is why your short-term memory is. This doesn't mean to say you're mad, you're not stupid. This is simply a progressive, can be slowly, hopefully progressive, brain condition that happens to a lot of old people. Nothing to worry about, but it's appalling. I think the worst thing, the most torturous thing is the fact she doesn't retain anything. So when we are going to put her into a care home, that is the only option. There is no option for her to live alone. She cannot cope because she can't remember what she's doing or why, and she would be in a strange house if she came up here. And she wouldn't look after it. She wouldn't drink. She wouldn't eat. She wouldn't get up. She wouldn't doesn't dog out. She wouldn't do anything. She hardly does that now in her own home. But she doesn't remember that she doesn't do it. Yes, I do. I'm perfectly capable of it. I cook. I still cook. It's like, no, you haven't cooked for about a year and a half. The last time I remember her cooking was cooking for my father, which involved boiling some potatoes, which she boiled for about 5 minutes, and they were rock hard. And my father was surprised when I presented a meal with potatoes to find that the potatoes weren't hard. So, yeah, I still teach, she's proudly told the doctor. She hasn't taught anybody for over a year. And even then it was one pupil who turned up probably about 3 times in the space of about 6 months. So she's, delusional. She also got annoyed with me yesterday again because I was, why can't I come now? It's because we're not ready. We've got a lot of things to do. I've spent all morning sorting out your affairs, your financial affairs, trying to work out what we can afford, what we can't afford, etc., etc. I'll just throw myself under a bus, and then put the phone down on me, and then had anxiety that she'd annoyed me, and I was like, no, you were the one that was annoyed. I'm fine. Don't worry. Absolutely fine. Then thought she dreamt it, then rang my sister, telling her she thought she dreamt it, but she wanted to check that she hadn't upset me. And then rang me again, had she upset me? No. Again, no. You were upset because I was telling you a few home truths that you weren't happy to hear. But then she forgets all that and just thinks, what did I do? What did I say? I mean, it's... Honestly, I've said in previous videos, she drives me around the bend. I could cheerfully almost smother her just to finish it. But I also feel increasingly sorry for her, because her brain is playing tricks on her. She doesn't know whether she's dreamt something, whether she's thought something, whether that something she's thought is actually true, whether what she's dreamt is actually true. I mean, she does live in a sort of 3 to 4 minute loop. At home, she just wandered back and forth between the calendar and her diary, neither of which had anything written on them. But she needed to check. Is there anything happening? Oh, no. Oh, is there anything happening on this? Nope. What about on here? Is there anything happening here? Nope. I suppose my biggest gripe with her is that they didn't prepare for this in any way, shape or form. My father left an absolute web of intrigue as to what his finances, their absolute shambles. The word "putting your affairs in order" did not, or the phrase "putting your affairs in order" did not come anywhere near my father. So I'm still trying to do that now. And I resent, I suppose I resent very much that they were like, "Oh, it'll be fine. We'll never die. It'll just be fine." Yeah, it's not the case, though, is it? I think they both thought they would just die in their sleep, quietly together, holding hands, just not wake up one day, and then, oh, there we go. We were right to stay in our beautiful palace all these years and enjoy every moment of it. They haven't enjoyed it for about at least 5 years. They've just been... She's been obviously on the track of dementia, and he's just been in increasing pain, crying out for help, but not prepared to do anything about it other than cry out for help, not prepared to come and be near their family. So, yeah, slightly less angry, slightly more sorry for her. And it's going to be a sad and incredibly painful day when I take her to her care home, which my sister refuses to come and do because she can't bear it. Great, I'll do it then. Thanks a lot. There we go.
And it would be so funny, it would be so funny if I had $1 for everyone. And it would be so funny, it would be so funny, a day in the life of a nobody. And it would be so funny, it would be so funny if I had $1 for everyone. And it would be so funny, it would be so funny, a day in the life of a nobody.